Rolling.
Okay, should we start over?
Yeah.
Okay. We're not gonna make a serious video anyway, so might as well just roll with
go.
it. Why is this happen every time?
Why'd you stick your finger in my mouth?
You yawned. What was I supposed to do?
3, 2, 1.
Usually our videos are about camping and music, but there's also a part of our lives that we have had going on and not been sharing a whole lot about. I did a video by myself, a little bit of a background on my journey personally with CIRS, chronic inflammatory response syndrome, and now we are starting treatment, and we found a specialist that actually knows what's going on with that. I realized that when I was looking online and we were trying to find resources of other people's experiences and what they have done, we really couldn't find a whole lot. Online, it's still kind of unknown to most people, CIRS and anything that goes along with it. So we decided that we hopefully could help somebody else through our experience.
Could be you.
It's not like they're winning a prize.
Well, maybe they are. The prize is health.
And you get good help. And you get good help. After our first appointment, it was really overwhelming. I mean, this whole thing's been kind of overwhelming. I mean, the past 4 years have been overwhelming since my health started declining, but...
Whatever could you mean?
How it's overwhelming?
Yeah, it wasn't overwhelming.
You being sarcastic?
Yeah.
Like, what? So before we even went to our first appointment, we read this book. If anybody is going through this or think that they are going through this or have a family member, you have to read this book. It was so helpful. Again, overwhelming, but helpful.
Encompasses everything. Everything you could think about or know about of what to do or what's going on and why it's going on.
All the tests that you're going to get done.
A lot of big words, so.
A lot of words.
You will have to Google probably most, unless you're in the medical background, then you might know.
Yeah.
But.
Which we're lucky because Caden is an ICU nurse, so he...
Shout out.
I made a little dictionary for myself so I could get used to the words. We found a doctor through the Surviving Mold website. So if you're looking for a specialist in your area or around your area, you can find all the CIRS certified doctors or practitioners in your area through that website. We really love our guy.
Ours was what, an hour and a half away, but thanks to COVID, we can do remote
Yeah,
video.
so that's actually kind of like, there's
One
one
benefit.
good thing of COVID, I guess. Definitely find a CIRS certified practitioner or doctor in your area. Do not do all this by yourself. There's no way. After our first appointment, we learned a lot. We started with getting a lot of tests done. Is that us learning a lot?
Mine was blown.
Okay. We got a whole lot of tests done. We got many, many tests. Did I say that wrong?
We done did a whole lot of tests.
We did a whole lot of tests. And
How many tests? How many?
a whole lot. Was that weird to say? Can I say it again without you saying something?
My reaction might be different, but...
The first thing that we did after our appointment was get a bunch of tests done.
Oh, come on!
Should I say a whole lot?
Yeah, just say a
Okay.
whole lot of tests.
We suck at doing these. Okay. After the first appointment, we got a whole
lot of tests.
So in the book, if you get the book, there's a whole lot of biomarkers. Is that what they call them?
biomarkers.
Biomarkers that will indicate if you have CIRS. If you have the gene, there's a lot of blood levels that are going to get out of whack.
Like
with CIRS.
MMP9, MSH, low ADH,
VEGF,
which is VEGF.
GF. I don't think it's
A
actually
bunch
how you
of,
say
it's
it.
in the book.
Yeah, it's in the book. It goes through the biotoxin pathway, which is like what you're going to experience first, second, like physically, emotionally too. It kind of messes with everything. Normally these tests aren't done by your normal practitioner, before seeing this guy, the specialist for CIRS, I had gotten so many blood tests done before that, and none of them tested for the right things. Everything always came back normal.
Well, not only do you have to get the right test, you have to get the right test performed by the right facility. One was in like Massachusetts, one was in like Boston. Well, that's in Massachusetts.
Yeah,
okay.
But that's okay.
Geography!
Okay, at least you're a nurse. So you don't have to know that. We also got a sinus swab done testing for MARCoNS, which stands for multiply antibiotic resistant coagulose negative staphylococcus.
Oh!
Thank you. I didn't read that from the paper or anything. So this creates a biofilm that protects bacteria from being able to be attacked by the immune system or antibiotics.
It's like a shield.
I've been on so many antibiotics for sinus infections, it's ridiculous. I was on a PICC line for antibiotics and nothing worked. I mean, it just makes so much sense. So I came back positive for the MARCoNS. So now I'm doing a nasal spray.
One of the things we had to test for was to see if we had mold in the environment, to see if it was a water damaged building, basically. With that, we did the ERMI and the HERTSMI-2 test, which was a dust cloth test that pretty much got all the dust everywhere in the house, which is different than the air quality test because the air quality test just does a very small percentage.
Yeah, and it only captures like a moment in time, where the dust cloth, you're gonna get even a partial particle of mold that's been there for like a couple weeks. You'll get a much larger span of time.
Yes. So you basically just make sure that thing is nice and dirty, and then you will put it in a little bag and send it on its way.
Yeah.
Probably to Massachusetts.
Or Boston.
The number one thing is to remove yourself from the environment. Environment is like 90% of what this is.
You could have CIRS not from water damaged buildings, but I think it is some crazy high percentage. It's like 85 or 90% of people experience this because of mold or, fungus or whatever from a water damaged building.
Yeah, so if you're doing the protocol and you're doing all this treatment, but you're still in a water damaged building, then you're doing yourself no good and wasting a bunch of time and money.
And money. After we got a lot of the blood tests back, it really confirmed everything for us that we already kind of knew. Everything made sense for us. I really followed it almost to a T, the biotoxin pathway. So now we were able to start treating the MARCoNS that I was positive for, but I was also able to start a couple of other things, the low amylose diet. So pretty much the low amylose is just a low inflammation diet.
Without consuming amylose, that starch, you can reduce your MMP9 levels. It's an enzyme that causes disruption at the basement membrane of your cells, which causes leaky pores, so that inflammatory compounds that come down and enter into the body, the lungs, joints, muscles, brain.
There's so many things out there that talk about low inflammation diets and everything. We've tried a lot of things. We already had cut out gluten and dairy, and I felt a little bit better because I wasn't having so much mucus buildup from the dairy, I think, too. But now this low amylose is like that kind of on steroids. But if you're already doing gluten-free, it's not that much of a jump. It's just the rice, I think, was the hardest for us to take out. Yeah, so pretty much the high MMP9, is the basis of it all, because it's letting all the inflammatory and all the toxins into your body.
Yeah.
So that's what helps with the low amylose diet, and also fish oil.
So a study came out and said that after 3 months of taking this omega-3 fatty acids, patients were shown to see a 58% decrease in MMP9 levels.
Yeah, which is kind of insane.
58!
So I've been on this for like a month now.
So let's say we're at 20%.
Yeah, but then along with all of this, tracking. Tracking is a big thing. Yeah, so it's kind of hard to tell, like, oh, I kind of felt like bad yesterday and then I felt worse today, and what did I do different?
What? What? Oh.
Yeah, so tracking, I always was reading like when you have health issues that you should be tracking, but I was kind of overwhelmed by it and I didn't really want to because it felt like a lot. So in this book that we talked about earlier, again, has everything that you could possibly need to know. It gives you a really simple way to track. And this is an example of kind of my tracking book. I got this blank book and I am making my own tracking. It gives you things that you can copy, but they're just huge. Like they're just giant papers and I knew that I wouldn't travel with them. I knew I couldn't keep it in the camper. It was just way too big. So I made it a small version of it. And I will share more information on that too. But you're supposed to keep track of your specific locations, your symptoms, your supplements that you've taken that day, treatments, therapies that you've tried, sauna, meditation. I'm keeping track of bowel movements too. And then in the comments, I'm also putting what I ate that day. Now, it doesn't have those last two things. It doesn't suggest that in the book, but I've noticed that I feel like that's also affecting how I've been feeling. Go check out that book. It has so much more information, but I would definitely recommend starting to track. Even if you haven't seen a physician or anything, just start tracking so you know what's going on from day to day. We will continue sharing what we're experiencing as we're going through this time. We're gonna have more information on how we've decreased my toxic load. We're gonna have a video on that and kind of how we've been getting through emotionally through this, because there's a lot that goes into this. We will continue doing videos with music and videos with travel as well as this.
Don't forget to subscribe. If you like what you saw, please go ahead and subscribe below. Here comes the song.
What's happening?
Starring
We haven't done this in a while.
I'm so nervous.
After our first appointment, we learned a lot. Kate and Ty! So we're really bad at making videos that are serious. Usually our videos are about... Stop it! Okay. Usually our videos... Oh my goodness gracious.
I don't know what's wrong with
What's
me.
happening? Kate and Ty!
Every time you say words.
Just words?
I'm trying to think of okay, don't laugh. Just look off into the distance.
What are you doing? Now I'm annoyed.
Now you're nervous that it's not happening yet.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Okay. Are you?
Yep. Why'd you stick your finger in my mouth?
You yawned. What was I supposed to do? Not stick my finger in your mouth?